Q103, Albany's #1 rock station is Styles. When you look back as we close out 2012, one of the bands who worked the hardest and definitely saw some of the most success of the year was Shinedown, joined now by Brent Smith on the line. And looks like 2013, you guys are just going to keep it rolling.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me this morning. But, yeah, man, we had a busy year in 2012, did a lot of tours, released our 4th album, Amaryllis, and, yeah, we got a big year starting out next year in 2013. But all in all, 2012 was a great year.
Yeah, I mean, you guys did a lot of tour, a lot of press for Amaryllis. Did you get any breaks during that time? I mean, because it seems like every time I turn around, there was some news about a tour for you guys. You're doing this, you're doing that.
Well, we started off the year in Europe and the UK, and then we released Amaryllis. It was our first international release that we'd ever had as a band, as far as like a proper international release, because we were able to go, put it out in 27 different countries. And then we did a bunch of tours in the middle of the year and through the summer. We did Uproar, and then we went back to Europe again. We actually just got back about 2 weeks ago from the UK, and now we're taking a little bit of time getting ready for the tour that we're going to be doing with 3 Days Grace and POD in 2013. But we're taking a little bit of downtime right now.
Well, nothing wrong with a little bit of downtime, as just, you went down the whole thing of everything you guys done in the past 12 months. Holidays coming up, what are you most looking forward to with that?
I'm looking forward to, I leave in a couple of days to go get my son. He's in Florida right now, and he's going to turn 5 on December 26th, but he's going to be with Dad for the next couple of weeks. So I'm really looking forward to being with him.
That's awesome. Good to hear the family's going to be able to hang out. 2013, the tour, you mentioned 3 Days Grace, POD. Some of the dates announced, hoping that, we do have something in this area here. Nothing confirmed just yet. But looking at 2013, it's the 10-year anniversary of your guys' first album, Leave a Whisper.
Yeah, it's pretty wild to actually look back and see that. We're such a band of, we never get complacent with anything. We're always trying to outdo what we've already done, and Amaryllis was a big deal to us in 2011, because we spent that whole year working on it to get to this year when we released it. It was our biggest debut. It came in at number 4 this year in 2012. But yeah, looking back to the first album, it's going to be the 10th anniversary next year. Everyone has kind of asked us what we're going to do for it and what have you. Are we going to remaster it? Are we going to put it out with different songs? And I'm like, I have no idea. Who knows what we're going to do? The record holds up on its own. So, it's honestly, it's an amazing blessing to still be doing what it is we love for a living in this industry. I mean, at the end of the day, the most important thing is the people, because we've always said we only have one boss, and it's everyone in the audience, and they still show up and they still buy the music. And I've always said that Shinedown was a living piece of art, and it relates to a lot of different people. So as long as they're happy, that's the best thing in the world, man.
That's very true. And, looking back from 10 years to now, the success you guys have had, Amaryllis, you're looking at, the success right now of Enemies could be another number 1 record for you guys.
I hope so, before the holidays, as far as once the year starts edging closer to the year. I think it's like 5 right now on the rock charts or something like that. And we had a blast. When we were recording that song, we had a blast making the video for it. It's very tongue in cheek and show a little bit more of the humor side of Shinedown. You can't really take yourself too seriously all the time.
How was making that video in particular for Enemies? I mean, it looks like you guys had a lot of fun with it, and maybe even a bruise or two after it was all said and done.
Well, the interesting thing about the video was the concept was something that I had for a long time. We actually did that up in Connecticut at a VW in the middle of a very kind of eerie, creepy little town, and but the people were great. But it was something kind of out of like a pseudo 1970s horror film, and it was like a 14-hour shoot, and we were able to do all our own stunts, and the only thing was the coffee pot. The fact is we had this stunt. Well, it's basically a prop, and it's made out of sugar water. So that's what the coffee pot was. But when you fill it up with, coffee, it becomes dense, so it gets heavier. So anyhow, long story short, the end of the video when we walk out, and I'm like, hey, hang on, Zach. When Zach's there with me, that hematoma that's in the top left corner of my head, that's actually real, because when Eric cracked me across the head, he got me pretty good. So it is good that there's some realism to the video, but it hurt.
Well, your next song's going to be "I Will Follow," releasing that in January 2013, and we were talking off air about you're making a video for that. So instead of beating each other up, you're going to be blowing things up.
Yeah, it's kind of got this. It's not by any means like a war type film video, but the best way I can describe what we're going to do is it's very kind of Saving Private Ryan without the military aspect. So, but we're not going to do anything with CGI. We're actually going to do this for real. So people will just have to stay tuned and wait till next year and see what the video looks like. But it's going to be wicked.
I can only imagine what the budget's going to be for that then. Now,
you'd be surprised, man, nowadays, man. If you know the right people, you don't have to. Days of making $200,000, $500,000 videos are over. Cameras are so small now. Technology is through the roof. And, yeah, man, people, I mean, it just depends on who you know, man, and we know a lot of people.
I say, obviously, you know the right people to have a nice, decent budget, so you're not blowing, as you say, $1 million on a damn video.
No, man, the days of doing that stuff are long gone. If you gotta, the times are always changing, man, and in a lot of ways nowadays, man, technology is so advanced that you're just wasting money if you're behind.
Well, I mean, now video-wise, there's not even an MTV anymore for anybody to get played on.
Yeah, but there's a YouTube, and
right.
Internationally, you would be very, very surprised. I mean, and I'm not being disrespectful when I say this at all, but a lot of other countries are kind of behind as far as, I mean, the thing is like when we go to Europe or we go to the UK, there are like 6 different video channels, and if you go to South America and to Asia, they still play a lot of video channels. I mean, we still have MTV. We have Fuse here, and we have VH1, but there's a lot of reality television. I mean, they're basically just networks, for different shows here. But kids, people still love to see their favorite artists present their art. Videos are still watched. I mean,
oh yeah, there's millions and millions of views on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, once you go into YouTube and see, I think it's funny. The other day, I was looking up what's the most viewed video of all time on YouTube, and I think it's Avril Lavigne's Girlfriend. It's something like 500, or I think it's like 500 or 600 million views. That's insane.
Well, at least it's not a stupid cat or something like that, because they seem to rule the internet now. So.
Well, cats, man, I don't get that whole thing. Just like I don't get furries, people dressing up in like animal costumes. So who knows?
Well, furries is a free time thing. And your free time, I was talking to AdRock, part of your management team. He's telling me you guys do the Insanity program.
Yeah, we've probably done it 3 times over now. We started at the beginning of the year doing it on show days because we usually do 5 shows a week, and we just stuck with it, man. It's like the best program, on the road. Sean T. Fitness, he developed this program called Insanity. He actually has another program called Asylum now.
Oh, God.
But, yeah, man, when you're out on the road, you've got a dressing room or you just have a hotel room, man. You don't have a lot of space. It's like the perfect program for that. But
well,
we keep in good shape.
I was gonna say I started that recently, and I'm like 3 days into it, and it is kicking the crap out of me right now. So you'll
feel different in like 2 weeks, though, man. It's a 67-day program. If you follow it, and if you just follow the program itself, you'll probably lose between 18 and 24 pounds. But if you do the diet on top of it, you can lose like 40 pounds, man. It's pretty intense.
But I'm sure it has definitely worked for you. Brent Smith of Shinedown, going to be hitting the road next year with 3 Days Grace POD, hoping for a date in the Albany area, the capital region. Anything else you want to say before we part ways here?
Just want to thank everybody for the love and the support. We're working on a date for next year for the tour, and happy holidays to everybody, and have an insanely awesome new year. And we'll see you all in 2013.
Sounds great, brother. Enjoy your time with your son, and we'll see you in 2013.